So I'm currently sitting on my mattress in my last college apartment the night before I move out of it, and it's been over a year since I graduated, but I took an extra year in Chicago to kind of figure out what it was I wanted to do, and since I'm having some of the same feelings I did when I finished this documentary, I decided I needed to redo the intro, and I decided that the intro was too forced before, and it was too done up, and that's not what this project is about, and that's not what I'm about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just read the quote that I had originally memorized, and I'd set up my camera and mic'd myself, like did it monologue style, but it just didn't feel like me. So I'm just gonna read the quote. This is what made me want to investigate this topic further. It's from the book called The Good Girl's Guide to Getting Lost. Here it goes. Who decides the perimeters of this real world where the initiation seems more like self-sacrifice? Give up your personal vision of happiness in exchange for a collective vision. Work hard, get married, buy a house, have a kid or two, diversify your portfolio, retire comfortably without burdening your children, die. So I was already feeling so confused about graduating, and then this just got me thinking, and it made me want to make a documentary about the what's next period in a young person's life. And I think a lot of people my age can relate to this feeling, or if you're in your late 20s or 30s or whatever, you remember feeling this way. And so I think it's kind of an important thing to put out there and talk about, because it's okay if you don't know what you want to do. And I still don't know what I want to do, and I probably won't know, but I'm never going to release this documentary if I don't just release it. So enjoy.
How was your class? Walk and talk.
There's so many people around. Oh, okay, hold on. Ellen, no, I don't want to do this now.
Wait, I'm not gonna show the camera this one.
Why?
Because it's me and drag.
I want to see it.
Crazy drag. I mean, I really don't care, yeah.
I'm kind of really burnt out on school. It's just, yeah, I'm nervous about the future, but I'm ready to be done with school, and I think my anticipation is kind of blocking out my nervousness, if that makes sense, and it's kind of making me more excited just because I kind of want to start, a new chapter. We can cross here. Okay. So I have an interview for an online tutoring position. It's for kids in China, and it's through video chat, so it's all virtual. I changed my major 2 times before I became a psychology major, and I kind of came to the realization that I should just be in a major where I'm taking classes that I enjoy. I really want to travel, and I really also need to start paying off my student loans, so I do need a full-time job, and so I thought of a good way to incorporate both. And so I want to teach English, and I've kind of narrowed it down to Asia. I'm looking at Japan right now, just because I've always been fascinated with Japan and their culture. Growing up in Hawaii, there's a lot of Japanese influence.
Alright, so you're Summer?
Yes.
Alright, so hi, I'm Trina. I'm from L7. Where are you from?
Well, I'm originally from Hawaii, but I go to school in Chicago. I'm in my 4th year now, and I'm actually graduating this June.
And can you tell me about your availability? What days in a week are you available to teach?
So I
don't know. I haven't had time, I think, to get super nostalgic about it, because I am worrying about what I'm going to do afterwards, that I haven't really thought about a whole chapter of my life ending. And now that you asked that, I am trying to print out my resume for my appointment right now, my advising appointment. It's scary, obviously. I am not gonna have a set routine anymore. I don't know where my life is gonna take me. I don't want to move back home after graduation, I mean, obviously I know that my parents are gonna help me out with rent, hopefully, for a few months after if I don't find anything, but they're very adamant with you know, if you don't find anything, you're gonna have to move back home. I think they do have a higher expectation for me to finish college. We just get that thought that we need a degree for stuff instilled in us for so long that I was just thinking about this the other day, how messed up it is that you need a degree to get a job that you might not necessarily be trained in. What did I pay all this money for? And it's to get a piece of paper that says, hey, I went to college, I can probably do that job. And it's just, yeah, it's strange.
But you are an English major.
Yes, I am, yeah.
So what are you hoping to have happen during this session?
Kind of to look over like my resume and make sure that I have what I need on it, make sure I don't have like too much on it.
Okay.
And also to find out about different like job opportunities and how to actually like find a job if there's a website or stuff like that. Okay, yeah.
So I know this was kind of the premise of, you know, the whole idea. It's like you always have something leading up to that's been planned for you. Now it's way broader of opportunity. You don't have a specific place you're supposed to go or supposed to do. Maybe some people have something lined up, which is great for them, but I don't really have anything I'm leading into, and so that's kind of daunting.
What do you need?
I'm looking for garbage bags right now.
Riveting.
Oh, this is only $6.19. Pro tip, always get the generic brands from like the store. Up and Up is Target. But yeah, feeling okay. Feeling a little more stressed out about jobs mostly, and just like having a secure job that I will enjoy is kind of stressing me out, just because it's like I feel like it's such a big decision. It's almost like picking a college. Like you can change it, but it's like you don't really want to.
You lock yourself in too.
Right. Like it will just, life is so much easier if you just get it right on the first try.
I'm 22. It crept up on me this year. I was just like, wow. Just with midterms that just passed, that I haven't really had time to think about a birthday celebration. I think this is what they say when like after your 21st and the years start coming super quickly. And I'm gonna be 30 before I know it. And I like stretched something in my knee. And I was like, oh, this is what I have in store for the rest of my life. At 22. So my boss for my internship, she sent me a bunch of links to find jobs. Okay, so this is the requirements. Get this. Okay, bachelor's degree in communications, media, journalism, or English, hey, check. At least 2 years of editorial experience at a publication. Do I have that? At least 2 years. I don't have that. I've been in college. God, it's so much more than just like reading through manuscripts and submissions. And this is only an assistant's job. I don't know. God, maybe I should have taken like actual publishing classes if those exist. Salary depends on experience. I don't know what that means. It's like I've gotten used to it by now. The stress that it's like, it's in the back of my head constantly, but I don't know. I just don't think it's gonna go away until I secure something. Like it's just always like, I'm always thinking about it. And the rest I'm just like, all right, Chris, like there's nothing else you can do but sit and wait and start applying. We can do that. I could start applying.
It's actually a class that would probably be relevant to this conversation because it's the psychopathology of adolescence. And we did like a whole unit on how adolescence is extended for American youth. So don't feel bad if your life isn't together by the time you're 24, because that's how long you have to be an adolescent.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy.
The closer you get to graduation, you get asked like at least once a day what you're gonna be doing, and like I feel like because of that, people ask you like, oh, what are your plans, like what's going on, like you feel like this pressure that maybe you didn't feel before, but you realize like everyone is literally in the same position everyone is in the same boat trying to figure it out.
I remember I sat with Amy and then she just asked me how I was doing and I just lost it and I just like started bawling and I was like, not so good. So it was yeah.
What did you write? You said you wrote a whole thing?
Look, what did I say? I said, today was such a shit day. My generalized anxiety went crazy in my first class of the day and was on the verge of a panic attack. Too much needs to get done before I graduate and I don't know how. So I started crying during rehearsal, but I'm so lucky to come home to this pizza and to have amazing friends that hug me and remind me that everything will be okay, even if I don't believe them at the time. And I woke up the next morning at like 5 a.m. and I got shit done.
But I have to keep in mind, and I have to tell myself this, that like the decision you make after college isn't like gonna like be for the rest of your life. That you need to look at it at like the big scheme of things and like all of life. It's just like one small part of it, and it could be like a building block to like get a different job or like a part of a bigger plan.
So Ellen wanted me to film an update video 1 year post-grad. To be honest, I was pretty nervous to do it. A lot has happened since I've graduated.
After college, I moved home for a few months and I worked and I saved up some money.
I moved to LA for an internship. That ended and there wasn't a job to be offered afterwards and I had to move back home.
In November of last year, I moved to Japan and I became an English teacher. And I've been here for about 7 months now and I've been teaching English in Tokyo.
And I found a job in the city. It was a bunch of analytical work. I hated it, so I decided to leave. And back to square one. It's scary again, and I have no idea what's gonna happen.
Everything was such a learning experience. It's definitely been hard at points, but you know, I've gotten through that and I'm really happy I made the decision to come here. As you could see, I was a little hesitant. There, you know, are a lot of things to take into consideration, but I'm really happy I did.
I have no idea, honestly. Like, I wish this was a better, like, update, but it's not. It's just me being as confused as I was when I first graduated.
If you have something in mind that you think may be far-fetched or a little crazy, or people may think it's crazy, go with what your heart tells you because it will be a great experience either way.
You shouldn't be so hard on yourself because there's a bunch of us that's still trying to figure it out. And I'm trying to think, you know, this is what I'm supposed to go through. I'm supposed to learn something from this.
So yeah, that's a little update of where I am. So yeah, thanks, bye.
All right, bye.